The job system in FF14 is one of the most detailed in the MMORPG genre. I have a theory about what the future job systems of FF14 could look like, and a few examples. Currently, we have 20 jobs in game. That's a substantial amount, and one could even make the argument that we don't need any more. But at the same time, it's just as much of an expectation to get new jobs with each expansion release. After an expansion launches, many discussions happen in the player base, going over what potential new jobs we could get and in what roles. If you look at the chart of current jobs, you can see there's room for a couple of more to balance out the roles, specifically a physical range DPS and magical DPS. This had me thinking about what potential jobs we could get, which led me to developing my theory, so let's get right to it. Final Fantasy XIV has a number of classes, carryovers from the original game. Each class develops and progresses into a specific job. Marauder goes into Warrior, Lancer into Dragoon, and so on. In this class system we have the Arcanist, which is unique in that it leads into two separate jobs. Although both Scholar and Summoner are separate jobs, they are both linked together through the Arcanist, meaning that as you level one of them, the other levels alongside it. So if you hit max level with your Summoner, you automatically have Scholar max level as well, because it's the class of Arcanist that levels up. It's been thought for years that this was just a random class job mechanic that was never repeated, mainly because the class system was never expanded upon and remains the same as it did back then. But what if the Arcanist was to be the example of how future jobs could be added to the game? Recall I mentioned we had room for a new physical range DPS and magical DPS. What if they were added to the game as extensions of current classes, like Scholar and Summoner are right now? Take the Rogue for example. Rogue is a dagger wielding melee DPS that leads into the Ninja, wielding the same weapons but with unique ninja abilities. What if we got a physical range DPS job added to the game that also grows out of the Rogue, and it levels alongside Ninja as a result? It could be a job that specializes in throwing daggers or other throwing weapons and abilities. A job already exists in the Final Fantasy universe that matches this. The Juggler job, as seen in the Final Fantasy Tactics series. For magical DPS, let's look to the Conjurer. Conjurer is a staff and or wand wielding class that progresses into White Mage. What if we get a job that's closely related to the White Mage, that focuses instead on the destructive potential of that job, as well as some of the abilities White Mages are known for in lore. An example of this is the summoning of stone golems, which the White Mages of Amdapor were known for. The Final Fantasy universe has many candidates for such a job. The Shaman is a good example due to the elemental nature of the Conjurer class, or even the Elementalist job, which focused on elemental attacks and status afflictions. As a final example, I want to go over one that inspired my overall theory. Marauder is a class that leads into the tanking job of Warrior. What if Marauder got another job that grows out of it? A melee DPS that focuses on the more destructive aspects of the class, as well as the rage lore of the Warrior. A perfect job exists for this, and we've even seen an example of it in FF14. The Berserker, a job that focuses on very high attack, but is forced to attack uncontrollably. This could be spun into an axe or even hammer wielding melee DPS that focuses on powering itself up via rage abilities. Now this theory does have one issue. Adding a new job that branches out of one of these classes could mean you instantly getting access to a level 90 plus job that you've never played before, which would be a bit overwhelming. But a simple fix exists for this. Job quests that would focus on unlocking abilities up until a certain level, and also teach the player the mechanics of the job. As an example, I had my Summoner level to level 80 and never unlocked Scholar. So when I finally did it, it was max level and I knew absolutely nothing about it. It was the job quests and doing lower level duties that allowed me to learn the basics, so I could then work on mastering the higher level skills and playstyles of the job. So what do you think about my overall theory? Let me know your opinion in the comments, and most of all share your own theories about future jobs, or even using my theory, Do you have any job ideas that could grow out of the class pool that we currently have? As always, hit that like button to support the video. And subscribe if you haven't yet, so you can catch my future videos when they release. Thanks all, and now, as always, have a good one.